Why do we eat transgenic food? Throughout our history, humanity grew in population, but in the last time the world rate made an important jump. With the advance of medicine, human life expectancy increased. Vaccines allow more children to become adults. New treatments enable more adults to become elders. Moreover, elders increased their life expectancy even to 100 years. Humanity has increased 3 times its population growth rate only 200 years, and it is increasing right now. That is great, but what does it mean? It means there are less people dying than being born. There are more people each day around the world, and of course, there are more people to feed. This was an important problem. Traditional fruit production wasn't enough to cover the food demand because harvests had low production rates, were susceptible to pests, and vegetables didn't last long. Therefore, production was expected to peak soon, and famines would begin, especially in poor countries. In this contest, scientists were investigating about DNA and how manipulated it, and in 1994, after a lot of research, the first transgenic tomato was commercialized for human consumption. This tomato was taking longer to rot. The door to transgenic vegetables was opened. So, what is a transgenic vegetable? Biotechnics, biotechnologists isolated pieces of DNA from a particular species of plants that contains genes for resistance to pests, for example, and then introduced that piece in the DNA of another plant. This new transgenic plant has the resistance of the first one. This simple method enables humans to make vegetables more resistant to pests, increase the food production rate, and the time until it rots. This tendency of improving harvest isn't new. During hundreds of years, humans selected the best vegetables and animals in nature to obtain new, more productive families of vegetables. For example, choosing the fattest cow to reproduce, humans were artificially selecting the most productive ones and crossing them among each other to obtain a more productive line of animals by combination of their DNA. The difference with transgenic is that while the artificial selection was made through generations and it takes a lot of time, transgenic can be produced in laboratory and it takes only a generation. This allows us to increase food production at the same time the food demand increases. Despite the myth, the fact of introducing genes in food doesn't affect human health. The new genes don't interact with our bodies, and in some cases, scientists can introduce genes of vitamins to get more nutritious products. However, it has some cons. The most important impact from transgenic is on environment. More resistant plants select more resistant pests and require the use of high amounts of pesticides that are seriously bad for human health. Then, if there are problems in human health, those are due to the pesticides and not to the transgenic products. Due to this fact, I highly recommend wash the vegetables before you use them to make sure they don't have risk of pesticides on. Also, resistant harvests compete with local flora by displacing it, and the soil takes more time to recover, producing desertification, a process by which plants cannot grow in the soil for a long time. These problems are still growing thanks to the duty business that formed behind transgenic products. Nowadays, exist big multinational companies developing new transgenic seeds and pesticides without check their impact in environment or human health because they only care to make more money. Obviously, two parties participate in every sale. Agricultural producers need to care about problems that crops can produce. In the same way, they only want to increase the production. For this reason, it's necessary legislation to control the use of pesticides, and more countries are making laws to protect more people and environment. Unfortunately, there is no solution to problems with the environment yet, and we can't stop using transgenic plants. But scientists don't rest. There are a lot of them investigating and improving agriculture methods without pesticides around the world. What is more, there are eco-friendly methods that use local flora to control pests, allow harvests to grow without hard environment, and they are starting to be used. While they are searching for solutions, we don't have to be afraid about transgenic vegetables. They are inoffensive and enable us to preserve our quality of life. Only you have to remember, wash all the vegetables when you come back from market. Thank you.